So 3 years ago, Sammy Jo Smith and I were both watching the Super Bowl, and we were watching the Walter Payton Award, and they were talking about the men that were nominated for the Walter Payton and all that they had done for their communities and all that they had done for the industry. And we both almost simultaneously, it was like God was talking to us, and we sent each other a text at the same time and said, we need to have a Walter Payton type award. If we look at the history of women in the industry, there's nobody better than Pam Minick, and she is our fairy godmother. If there's ever a time that we ever needed anything, we call her and she's a yes. She's always a yes, with a smile and a hug and a let's bring these people in, and this collaboration and bringing everybody together for the collective effort. And so it was almost instantaneous that we established the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement Award. And so no better person than Pam to receive the first one. The best part about the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement is that she is the person that has established the ground rules, the guidelines for who is going to be the person to win the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement. And so year 2, obviously we shoot for the stars, and we were very blessed to have Miss Reba McEntire. But this year, 2025, we have an industry leader, a woman that was in the roots of what Women's Rodeo World Championship is, with Miss Billie Bray.
Billie is somebody who, she's speaking the truth. You don't need to guess where you stand with her, because she's always going to tell you where you stand or what her opinion is. And I think that that's rare in this day and age. A lot of people think that they have to go with the flow, and Billie doesn't. But that instinct and that independence is what's made her successful, what's made her a trailblazer, a real leader, and what makes her a worthy recipient of the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement Award. If I could describe Billie Bray in one word, it would be integrity. The amount of integrity that she has for the industry, for her company. We've done podcasts together. I can't tell you how many times I've called her if I needed stats or numbers, not only with just keeping track of my event, team roping, but what she's also doing for women's events. Keeping up with what's going on in the breakaway roping and raising awareness to it. The female athlete is so strong in our industry, and for what she's done to promote it, advocate for it, and get it out there is amazing.
I've known Billie for over a decade, and I really give a lot of credit to Billie for the success I've had in my career. I learned so much. Anytime I'm around her, I turn into a sponge, because I just want to absorb every word Billie has to say. And when Women's Rodeo Championships and Women's Rodeo World Championship came to be in 2020, Billie was one of the first people Sean Gleason and Gary McKinney called. And these incredible women sat around and really started dreaming up what Women's Rodeo World Championship should and could look like. And I bet if you were to sit them down together now, a lot of that would probably be marked off. But I really credit the big dreaming and also understanding that the numbers can continue to grow and get to where we want them to be. And so, not pun intended, but Billie Bray is our numbers girl, and thank God for that, because our industry will continue to grow. The numbers will continue to get bigger because of Billie Bray.
I have been with Billie Bray, worked with Billie Bray, been friends with Billie Bray for 22 years. And if anybody knows the value of youth rodeo and friendship, it's Billie Bray. My favorite memories with Billie is just her coming up with ideas for youth rodeo, how to elevate it. She's always thinking. And I think she's so dedicated to the junior high and the high school divisions, riding around in the golf cart and saying, we should do this and we should do that. And again, she's fierce with the jackpots. Let's pay these kids money while we're here. She's really elevated that at both our finals.
My favorite moments with B are roping with her, because both of us are business women first, and we get to rope in our spare time. So we kind of approach it with like, whatever happens, happens, no pressure, but then we're both so darn competitive that we want to win anyway. And so being in the arena, roping with Billie are some of my favorite memories.
When you meet Billie Bray, you know that you've met someone special. She's just an amazing woman who has such a great story. I mean, she has built so many different entities within the Western lifestyle with team roping and classic equine, and what she's done for breakaway, what she's done for youth rodeos, what she's done for women's rodeo. I mean, her web that she has weaved in the Western industry is very, very strong. You could call Billie at any point in time and she's going to be there to help you, and she's going to be there to tell you when she doesn't think maybe what you're doing is 100% right, and give you advice to make it better. I'm very blessed to call Billie Bray one of my friends, and I just think the world of her, and I think she's just one of the most classically beautiful women in the world.
If I could describe Bee's impact on women's rodeo, would be just the fact that I always see her there. She's always looking, she's always asking questions. She's wants to know where it's going. She wants to be able to promote it with her company, or just with what she feels like that impact could be. Being able to sponsor more breakaway ropers, knowing how many girls are buying breakaway ropes from the junior high to the high school, the saddles, keeping track of where all that's at, because she's knowing that and raising that awareness for those females, because she has numbers and stats behind it. And we all know that women spend a lot of money, and so that needs to be addressed in the fact that look at what the WRWC is doing, look at all these new rodeos that are coming up, because they know that there's so much future in women's rodeo, and a lot of it has to do with what she's doing in the shadows that people don't see, is how much she's promoting it with their company and the sponsorships to be able to, for a lot of these female athletes to be seen.
It's hard to measure the amount of impact that Billie has had on women's rodeo, both from the standpoint of her business and also her desire, her philosophy, her genuine desire to make women at a level with all other sports. Wherever women are inserted into the Western industry, Billie Bray wants them to be at the top of it, and she won't stop till they are.
We strive to raise the bar every year, and to have the help that Billie Bray has given as an industry partner, her sponsorship with Equibrand coming into women's, every year they show up, they support the girls, but she's also taking those notes behind the scenes, watching the cattle, watching how the production runs, and giving us those notes to let our event continue to grow and improve year after year. And she'll sit down with you for hours and just have a conversation about where we've been to now where we can go, and really just, whether you take it or leave it, she's gonna give you what her thoughts are, and that's, again, just something that I think has really helped our industry get to where it is. We want to honor these women that may not have the limelight every weekend, right? Billie is not one to stand in the center of a stage and say, look at all the things I've done. But really, if you were to list out all of the things that Billie has done for this industry, she should have a room full of awards. I'm just so proud that the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement Award for 2025 is going to Billie Bray.
Hi, Mom. Congratulations on the Pam Minick Lifetime Achievement Award. Can't think of a more deserving candidate for such an honor. You've been a titan of the industry for a long time, through the high school rodeo, the junior rodeo, always focused on the kids and brought everybody up. You got a hand in everything, and everything you touch ends up working out for the better. Happy Mother's Day.
Following the footsteps of Pam Minick and Reba McEntire is pretty special, but, your name kind of needs to be on that Mount Everest as well. But all the women's rodeo and the industry in general, seems like they always come to you for advice, and you always show up and show out and lead the way and bring everybody together. Happy Mother's Day, and we're really proud of you.